Hello and welcome back to another Warcraft news video. So in today's news we've got some stuff about heirloom vendors being removed, or at least the Justice Point ones, the legendary cloak being removed, a new pet, facial recustomization, and then also character name reclamation. Now before we get into the main video, it's probably just worth doing a quick little channel update thing. I'm going to Iceland tomorrow and I'll be back on Monday, though I'll probably be kind of out of it so I won't be back up to schedule until Tuesday. The good news is that I kind of spent the last while doing way too much work, and I've actually got videos prepared for most of the way, so you shouldn't notice too much, just that there won't be any streaming. That's hopefully the only thing that will happen. You never even know, like, I might be able to just chill out in the hotel sometimes in the evening and, you know, tweet and get back to people and do things like that. So anyway, now that the Iceland stuff's covered, let's talk about World of Warcraft, because that is probably why you're here. Now, first of all, heirloom vendors are being removed in patch 6.0. Wow, that's a big thing. So yes, basically they said that they are going to be revamping the heirloom system in a future patch, and they were going to just put a gold value on these heirlooms, but they were worried about causing buyer's remorse, devaluing the heirlooms, or perhaps even limiting what they could do in the future, just in terms of options. So that's what they were worried about, and that's why they removed them. You can still get PvE heirlooms from the Argent Tournament of the Dark Moon Fair, and the PvP ones can be purchased for honor as always. You know what? Like, yeah, sure, you're going to have time to get a full set, so I suppose this is kind of okay, but really, I think this has been poorly handled. And patch 6.0 is only 2 to 4 weeks away, so that doesn't give people a lot of time, and especially those who are maybe planning on just coming back for the expansion when the pre-patch comes out, and maybe they want to just, you know, do the pre-patch content, but then maybe, you know, level up an alt or something. Well, they can do that, but they're not going to have heirlooms. So that's a bit sort of shitty, in a way. I think it's good that they're thinking of doing a new heirloom system, but honestly, I think this has been handled very poorly. It's mainly an issue of communication and time. If they had given people 2 months notice, then I think this would have been okay. But this is not enough notice in my opinion at all. Yeah, really unfortunate, actually. And honestly, I think it would have been okay if they just put them in with a gold value. Ultimately, if you put... I suppose it's weird. In my head, like, if you right-click on that item at whatever price it currently is and purchase it, then you made that decision knowing pretty much all the variables. You knew that it cost that much, and you knew the item's effect, and really, I think anything in the future shouldn't really be to do with that. So, I mean, buyer's remorse for something like an heirloom, I think that's just like the realm of silly people, and maybe Blizzard wants to just avoid that, but I think a few silly people getting buyer's remorse over something that they full well knew is better than just, you know, removing these vendors and perhaps inconveniencing some players who truly do want to just get back into World of Warcraft and level up some alts or do something like that. As Blizzard pointed out, though, we have had 6 years to get these, so I'd say that most people who really want them probably will already have them. It just strikes me as a bit odd, I suppose, that's really all. Okay, so now that we've talked about that, let's move on to the legendary cloak. So this is weird, the legendary cloak is being sort of removed. Not the cloak itself, but all the quests and stuff will be. So what's going to happen is that the quest will no longer be obtainable in patch 6.0. That means the people who still do have the cloak quest will be able to continue it from what I can gather. However, when the 13th of November rolls around, then the quest will be completely removed. It will disappear from your quest log. Doesn't matter if you're halfway through completing it, it will be gone and you will never be able to get that cloak again. They are also going to be extending the thingy-majig of the Black Prince buff, which increases your drop chance for all the random crap that they make you collect for the cloak, so I suppose that's good. And they are going to be removing the Valor Step in patch 6.0. But still, you need to get this thing fast. Like, really fast. In my opinion, the idea of, you know, having this cloak being just a special thing for those who played MOP when it was current is actually good. But, just like with the heirlooms, the problem is they announced this way too late. Way too late. And I think that in this case, it would have been fine just to remove the quest in patch 6.0, but then just let people finish it whenever. Because, right, sure, some people would just pick it up in 6.0, then finish it in Warlords when they're level 100, thus devaluing the cloak a little bit. But really, I don't think anyone actually values the cloak, and it's just best not to kind of punish people who maybe want to just cram it in a few alts. I don't really agree with this system, and it was just interesting on Twitter last night. I was trying to enjoy Destiny with my mouse and keyboard, obviously, you know, sort of schooling the console peasants on the true way of inputting controls into a thing. By the way, it's awesome. I've got an XIM4, a Zim4. Anyway, so I was just chilling out, doing that, playing Destiny with my keyboard and mouse, and I looked at Twitter, and I just saw, like, everyone was like, "What? What are you doing, Blizzard? This is a terrible way to communicate these changes. This is too close. You should have taken a different direction," and yeah, that's basically what my Twitter was saying, and I have to say that I do agree. Really unfortunate that they just sort of, I don't know, did it all so hastily. Don't remove two things and then say, oh, by the way, they're going, they're going away in 2 to 3 weeks, especially when one of the things is kind of lockout based. Now that said, I think even if you do start in patch 6.0, depending on RNG, I think you'll still be able to do the legendary, like, quest, though you just would need to be careful that you get any of your secrets of the Empire or anything like that from Mogushan Vault / Heart of Fear, / Terrace of the Eternal Springs. Then get your Mogu related things from the Mogu place, because you don't want to, well, you know, you just want to balance it out. And then, of course, do bear in mind that the stuff in Siege of Orgrimmar, like I think the first 6 bosses or 7 bosses or something, they do drop items for that quest. Yeah, look, I just don't think they should have done it that way. Really. Maybe the changes themselves are fine. Removing the legendary cloak, I'm fine with. Retooling the heirloom vendors, I'm fine with, if it's going to help make a new system. And even removing them for a time, I'm fine with. It's just communication and giving people enough time, especially considering that a lot of people will be coming back for patch 6.0, so maybe that's not the best time to remove the heirloom vendors. Though, of course, Justice and Valor are being removed in 6.0, so it's just it's a bit of a strange situation, really. Yeah, strange situation. Right, let's just knock out the last few things, then I can edit this video and just be ready for Iceland. So there's a new pet coming into the game. It's the BlizzCon virtual ticket one. It's basically a Gromash Murloc, which is very cool. So, hurrah! I don't think I've got much else to say about that, other than my opinion, which is that it's very cool. So another thing is that they have confirmed that the facial recustomization is going to be added into the barbershop. This essentially means that the paid character recustomization thing is only going to be useful for things like skin color and your race. Not your race, your gender. Your race as well. Yeah, you can't get like a... Why do people call it race, actually? That makes no sense. It should be species, shouldn't it? Yeah, it should be species. You can't get a species swap in the barbershop. It kind of rhymed in a way. But yeah, you can change your character's face. So basically, Blizzard's point here is, with the new models coming, now you'll be able to change your face. Your skin tone will be the same as it was beforehand, but you can change all the little details and things to ensure that it is to your liking, and it's for a relatively low amount of gold. And that's, I think, a really good thing. I do worry, though, about how a barber could possibly, recustomize my face, because they've got loads of knives and... Ugh. I don't know, I mean, the Stormwind Barber does have a Sweeney Todd reference upstairs, so... don't know how much I really trust him. And now, the final thing is the character name reclamation. Basically, any characters that have not been active since the 13th of November 2008 will have their names freed up. This should basically just increase the pool of names available for characters when you're making a new one. So there you go, that's basically it for the news. Lots of stuff. I don't know if it's great stuff or not, but it's certainly stuff. So we can say that much. Also, sorry for the relatively low production value on this video. Basically, I don't have the time to edit together a full thing with, like, the camera and then cutting to footage that's hyper-relevant all the time, so this will probably just be some gameplay with a few screenshots thrown on top of it. But, yeah, that's it. Iceland should be fun, and I'll see you all when I get back from that.